All right. Beer with a Queer. We are, I have no idea what this says. I think it says Pissa, but it doesn't say that. Like a Boston good night in the town, we had a wicked Pissa. It doesn't say that. It says Pisgah, Pisgah. That's not a word. This is from the last one from my brother. It is a word, I'm being told, from my producer. It's not. It's a word like, oh, is it like in the South when you have a wild night out? You're like, oh, I had a wicked Pisgah over yonder. This is American lager from company Pisgah Brewing Company, Black Mountain, North Carolina. Last one from my brother. It says, we all drink downstream. And I'm going to give you a little hint. Don't drink downstream. Because guess where all the animals shit and guess where it ends up? Downstream. So anyway, there's something to take with you. Let's start with that. Let's try it though. It's a lager. It tastes like beer. I mean, it's smooth, it's nice, it's a little maltiness. It's a decent lager. It's water, organic malt, hops, and yeast. Yeah, it's got beer. It's got 69% organic ingredients. That means it's 31% other shit. Probably what ends up downstream. All right. So, that was not a great sip. It doesn't get better. So, we're in February. We made it. So, because this is Black History Month, I figure every Beer with the Queer this month, we're going to focus on a black queer person from history. And who are we highlighting tonight, Jeff? Great question. Today, I know I just changed pretenses from tonight to today. Stay with me. We're on a wild ride. Today, we're going to talk about Bayard Rustin. And I don't know how to say his first name. It is Bayard. Look it up. Bayard Rustin. It's probably Bayard. That sounds right. He was born in 1912. Here's what you don't know about him. Anything, I'm guessing. Here's why you should know about him. Bayard Rustin was very instrumental in the civil rights movement, in the gay rights movement. He helped talk about socialism a little bit. Communism sounded good way back when. But he, as a black man, was praised by Ronald Reagan. And in 2013, he was posthumously given a Presidential Medal of Honor by Barack Obama. What did he do? Presidential Medal of Freedom. Freedom of Honor? Look it up! I'll have all the notes on my phone that we're shooting on my phone, and those things don't work for me still having notes. I never learned how to write. But you know who could write? Bayard. Bayard Rustin could. So he, instrumental in the civil rights movement, but before that, he attended a conference with Gandhi's people. Sadly, not with Gandhi, because that was the year that, the summer that Gandhi got assassinated, who was supposed to host the conference, but his people were there, and taught nonviolent means. Nonviolent means to protest, and Bayard was a part of that, and really took that to heart. And how did he bring that into the civil rights movement? He actually started to, and mentoring, a young Dr. King as he was putting together the bus boycott that was happening. And Bayard Rustin was one of the most instrumental people into teaching Dr. King the value of nonviolence when it comes. So a lot of that nonviolent revolt that happened with Dr. King came from Bayard Rustin. And you may be wondering, why have I never heard of the word before? Well, that's because at one point, he did a good 90 days in jail because he got caught having sex with two 20-year-olds in a car. First of all, get it, Bayard. Two 20-year-old men. That was the problem. He got arrested. He pled down to just unlawful acts because sodomy is an unlawful act back then. So he did 90 days in jail. Hard time because of this. And because he was gay, he knew for a fact he could never be the face of the movement. So his name never made it out there. He never got to say what he wanted to say. He had to mentor and speak through other people because he wasn't allowed to be a spokesperson. and he knew that him being gay, him being who he was, would hurt the cause if people knew his name was there, if people knew he was associated, if people knew who he was. So we get to see his influence through Dr. King and through the civil rights movement with the sit-ins and the silent protests and the nonviolent protests. And that is directly influential from a gay man, and not just a gay man, a black gay man. So throughout this month, we're going to learn about more people. And by we, I mean me too. I've got to Google them and learn about it and remember enough to tell you. Good luck, everybody, because I drink. But that's the first one. Give a look. Look up Bayard Rustin. Very interesting. It's amazing what you learn that people had to go through. And even trying to change the world knowing you're going to have to hide who you are in order to make the difference you want to make. And in the 80s, he became a huge proponent for queer rights, gay civil rights, and did a lot of work with the AIDS movement in the 80s as well. And unfortunately, he passed away in the 80s. But to be commended as a black gay man by Ronald Reagan, of all people, I mean, talk about a Republican. And then finally given his honor in 2013 by Barack Obama. There's the first The More You Know. Look him up, and that's been your first February Beer with the Queer. Good job!